It has been so much fun and so, joyous watching all of my medicinal plant friends popping up in my garden, from the elecampane to the comfrey and the arnica. I love seeing these friends pop up. And if you are still trying to decide what to grow in your medicinal herb garden, you've got to grab my guide. It's all about the most essential herbs that every mom should know and should grow. So I teach you how to grow them and the many different ways that you can use them. If you want to grab the guide, go ahead. It's free, and I'm pretty sure you're going to get a lot of delight and use out of it. And there's a link to it in the show notes. I'm wishing you tons of happy medicine planting. Hello and welcome to the Herbalist Path, a podcast where you'll discover how to make your own herbal remedies at home so that you can take better care of yourself, better care of your family, and better care of our planet. I'm Mel. I'm a clinical herbalist, environmental educator, and mountain living mama with this crazy passion for teaching more mamas and their little loves how to use plants as medicine in a safe, effective, and tasty way so that there can be an herbalist in every home. Again, it's an absolute honor to have you on the journey down the herbalist path with me so that together we can make herbalism #spread like wildflowers. Hello, and welcome to another episode on the Herbalist Path. I am so darn excited and honored that you've decided to take the time to tune into this episode, because we are going to be talking about one of my favorite herbal topics to talk about in all of herbal everland. I really, really love it. And actually, what we're talking about today is the essential herbs for your herbal first aid kit. And I love sharing this because it's really where I got my start in the world of herbalism. It's where the plants really started to call to me. So if you don't know much about my past or my history, you're about to. So in the late 1900s, early 2000s, I was just really passionate about doing whatever I could to be outside, to be connected to nature, and make that my kind of job. So I was a backpacking guide and I was a wilderness therapist for quite a while. And let me tell you, it's pretty epic to be paid to go on other people's vacations and to go camping and hang out in really, really beautiful spaces. And that's your job. It's really cool. It's not easy and it's definitely not for everybody, but I absolutely loved it. But one thing that I hated when I was out there, especially when I was doing the backpacking guiding, because I'd have adults and I really love to work with kids, but I had adults there, and these adults would be paying me hundreds of dollars to walk them to these really, really beautiful places. We would climb up Mount Adams and Mount St. Helens, and we would do really beautiful hikes throughout the Columbia River Gorge. It was gorgeous. But these people were carrying toxic, nasty first aid products in their backpacks and their first aid kits. And really, it chapped my hide, because so much of the reason I wanted to have work that helped me be really connected to nature is because I have this deep, passionate love for nature and this deep, passionate desire to do everything in my power to help heal and to repair this planet, right? And obviously, here I am, just one being. There's not a lot I can do. But I did know that the crap they had in their first aid kits was not only bad for them, but it was really, really bad for our planet. And when these things started spinning in my head and I'm trudging my hiking boots along the trail, trying to climb up this mountain and helping them get up the mountain, and I started noticing more of the plants by me. And I was like, whoa, look at those plants. What what are those plants doing? Are they able to heal us somehow? And so that really got my wheels spinning in that realm. And I started buying all the books, and that soon turned into me making little herbal first aid products. And I would pass them around to those in my community, and people were loving them. They were like, Mel, make me more of this bug spray. Mel, make me more of this salve. Mel, make me more. I sprained my ankle. Like, help me out. What do I do? And I started just dreaming of a day where there would be a natural first aid kit in everybody's backpack and everybody's camping gear. Like, anybody who loved to go outside and play would have a natural first aid kit instead of the DEET and the other toxic, nasty crap that is out there. And fast forward, like, I don't know, 18 years or so, lots of herbal studies, lots of business trials and tribulations. I had an herbal product line called Mountain Mel's Essential Goods, and I actually got those herbal first aid goods and my teas into REI. And if you don't know what REI is, it is basically the largest outdoor camping, mountain biking, snowboarding, outdoorsy type of person store and mecca. And like, I got those products into that place. So I was getting those herbal first aid goods that I had dreamed about way back in the early 2000s, like 2002. I got them into the backpacks and the camping gear of all these people. And it was so friggin' amazing. It was also really, really challenging on the business standpoint, because quite frankly, like, when I started my product line, it was just out of passion, right? I was just like, oh, I'm going to heal the world with plant medicine, and it's going to be beautiful and great, and everybody's going to be happy. Turns out there's a lot more to product line and running a business and all of that kind of stuff. So anyways, I loved it. It was really cool. What an epic 18-year manifestation. And in 2022, I went back to like my roots and my why. Like, why am I making these products? Why am I running an herbal apothecary? Why am I teaching people? And what do I really want out of this? So like, where's my greatest purpose, right? And what it came back to was education. Like, I got into being a backpacking guide and a wilderness therapist because I loved teaching. My background was in environmental and experiential education and really getting out there. And like, I would do all kinds of environmental ed tours with young kids throughout the city of Portland. And like, I really, really love that connection with people. And I love to watch people's light bulb moments go off. And I love to see people get that feeling that I got with my product line, with the like replies from people saying, oh my gosh, this worked. Oh, this really helped me in XYZ way. And this is just amazing. And like, I loved that when I ran my product line. And now I love it when I see it happen for my students. So anyways, that was a really, really long story of saying like, what's really amazing is teaching more and more people how to use plants as medicine, how to use these first aid goods, and how to make them so they actually work. Like, that's what I love, 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 love. It's so much fun. It's so much fun. So I wanted to share today, after that long story, thank you if you're still here, I wanted to share some of my favorite and most essential herbs that I think everybody does need in their herbal first aid kit. And I do have a whole course on this that we did as a workshop inside of Apothecary Mama, my herbal mentorship, where we do like deep dive workshops every month. And then I take those workshops and have them as a one-off for those that are just like, I don't want the commitment of an herbal mentorship. I just want to know what to do with first aid. So it is available for you in the all the herb things section at theherbalistpath.com. And I'll probably link to it in the show notes as well. But let's boogie on. Let's talk about some of the most essential herbs that I really feel you need to know and you need to teach your kids. But before we do that, I will say safety is really important in herbalism. I know a lot of people tend to think like, oh, they're herbs, they're natural, they're automatically safe, but that couldn't be further from the truth. There's amazing natural plants out there that I absolutely love Some of them are even used in medicines and also extremely toxic to the point that if you were to ingest them in their natural form, you would die. Foxglove is a great example of that. It is used in a lot of cardiac medications for very extreme cardiac issues, the digitalis in it. But yet, if you were to eat foxglove as you're walking around through the forest, you would die. So we don't want to do that, right? So it's really, really important also to be able to properly identify your plants, really knowing what you're using, because the difference between, heck yes, I 100% know this is this plant, and it kind of looks like it, I'll use it anyway, could be the difference between, wow, that really made a huge difference and really helped me out, and wow, now I'm extremely sick and maybe even having to go to the hospital or, being unalived. So knowing what plants are what is really important. So really brush up on your plant identification skills. Of course, I have programs and classes on that too. And then just having a lot of respect for the area that you're around is really, really important as well. There's so many different things to think about. If you're teaching this to your kids, make sure that they really know what's going on. Make sure you're checking for allergies and various sensitivities to different plants, and consider dosage. Like, all of these things are really important, but I don't want to bore you with that kind of stuff. I want to talk about herbs, and I want to talk about first aid and all of the cool things. So if you've heard any of my podcasts, you might know that one of my absolute best friends and favorite plants ever is plantain. And I love it because it's this weed, right? It's a weed that grows everywhere. It's in sidewalk cracks. It's on the side of the road. It is at the park. It is basically everywhere you need to be. And most people just pass by it and are like, whatever, stupid weed, or they're trying to spray it with toxic, nasty chemicals, or they're pulling it thinking this is horrible, but really, it's probably one of the most used herbs in my home and when I was working with clients, and I use it for so many healing ways. But to focus on first aid, it's really, really great for bug bites, bee stings, spider bites, snake bites. It's got this amazing affinity to be able to draw out venom and infection in miraculous ways. I've used it to draw out splinters. I've used it to draw out this big, gnarly blackberry thorn that I decided to let sit in the back of my leg. Really, I didn't realize it was there. I just thought it was a little prick I got walking through the woods one day. And then like 3 weeks later, I look at the back of my leg and it's big and red and pussy and super inflamed. And I'm like, uh-oh. So I had some plantain nearby and I just mashed it up and put it on top of that. And I held it on there with a Band-Aid. You could use tape, you could use whatever. And about 30 minutes later, I go to pull it off and out comes this giant blackberry thorn that was probably almost half an inch long. Gross, right? But wow, the power of this simple little leaf that is just everywhere. It's amazing. So definitely get yourself some plantain. I like to have it in a tincture. I like to have it in an oil and a salve. There's so many different ways you can use it as medicine as well. I've got a whole deep dive herb of the month study on plantain where we go into all the other ways you can use it as medicine too. The other reason I love plantain in my first aid kit is because it's a great wound healer. So if somebody's getting cuts and scrapes and things like that, it can pull out infection that can happen in there and simultaneously speed the healing process and let those skin cells and tissues regenerate really quickly. And again, it's super abundant. So for us to harvest plantain, we got a lot of work to do. Of course, it's never the objective to overharvest any plant, right? We don't want to do that. We want to have lots of respect for the land, but that's where it's also really great to seek out the powerful medicine that is everywhere. That is just going, hey, look at me. I'm here for you. I want to be your medicine. Because there's loads of them. There's so many amazing plants that are just waiting to be used by you and I. So plantain. It's your best friend. Get some, keep it in your first aid kit. It's the jam. Like, don't leave home without it, basically. And it's also a great, great, great plant to teach your kids right away. It's so, so good. Another one that I think of that's really, really fantastic. And I'm usually a huge proponent of using whole plant medicine before turning to essential oils. But in this particular case, I absolutely love to have a small bottle of lavender essential oil on hand. Of course, you do want to make sure it's sustainably harvested and grown and processed and all of that jazz. So definitely be attentive to that. But it can come in handy in your first aid kit for so many different reasons. One, like if there's an accident, sometimes people can Hey, I wanted to take a quick pause to show some love and gratitude to our sponsors of the Herbalist Path podcast, who make this show possible for me and possible for you too. So here it goes. I love this time of year. It's spring, the sun is shining, and all of our beautiful plant friends are popping up. It's amazing. Unless, of course, you're one of the millions of people who suffer from seasonal allergies. You know, the itchy, watery eyes, the sneezing and wheezing that's straight miserable. Thankfully, there are some amazing herbs that can help you with all of that. Just like the herbs inside of Kick-Ass Allergy from Wish Garden Herbs, one of my absolute favorite herbal companies out there. Kick-Ass Allergy, yes, I said ask without the K at the end. Anyways, this formula has yerba santa, nettles, echinacea for that immune support, and orange peels, all which come together to help dry up those excessive mucosal secretions. Yep, I'm talking about the sniffles and the stuffy nose, the watery eyes, and all that jazz. This blend also acts as a great expectorant and can help ease the swelling and inflammation in those mucosal tissues. It is a top go-to for seasonal allergies. And get this, they combine all those beautiful herbs with glycerin, so it actually tastes pretty darn good. Or should I say, it tastes kick-ass, without the K at the end. Anyways, if allergy season is miserable for you and you want a natural remedy that actually works for those itchy eyes and being all sneezy and wheezy, you have got to check out Wish Garden Herbs Kick-Ass Allergy. And for those of you with the little kiddos, no sweat, they've got a kick-it allergy too. And you pregnant mamas? You don't have to suffer either. They've got a kick-ass allergy formula just for you. So head over to wishgardenherbs.com or check out the link in the show notes and go grab yourself some kick-ass allergy so you can enjoy spring again. Get a large amount of anxiety and fear and stress because it's scary and the adrenaline's pumping and like, oh my gosh, what do we do? What do we do? But the more calm we can keep our minds, the more calm we can keep the people that are in pain for whatever reason or whatever just happened, the better off we're going to be. We're going to be able to think more clearly. We're going to be able to act more efficiently. And all of these things are really, really important in a first aid situation. Like, think about it. Something happens to a little kid and the mom starts to freak out. Well, great. Now the kid's going to freak out even harder. And that's not going to do any good for anybody. So we do need to keep calm. So that lavender can be great for the people in the party that are not injured or not hurt in any way, and simultaneously fantastic just to calm and soothe the nerves of the person who is being affected by whatever kind of incident has happened. It's also an antiseptic, so it's going to help prevent infection if there is a big cut or scrape happening. It is going to be really, really fantastic to soothe and ease various kinds of burns. And like burns really happen a lot around a campfire, right? So we can really turn to lavender in a situation like that, and it's going to be so helpful. Maybe you're having a hard time sleeping. Lavender essential oil, really, really nice. It's also fantastic in the case of bug bites and bee stings. It can provide a lot of relief there. Lavender is really, really great to have on hand. If somebody's dealing with headaches and you're out in the wild, lavender can be a big, big helper. And of course, there's 1,010,000,000 ways that lavender can really, really make a huge, huge difference in your first aid kit. And you can use like lavender tea and lavender tea bags as well. But being the backpacker that I am and somebody who really loves to be outdoors, I do like to keep a pretty small and efficient first aid kit. So keeping that small bottle, like a 1/2 ounce or a 1/4 ounce bottle or vial, I guess you would call it, of lavender essential oil on hand is really, really great. And I'm looking for the Lavandula angustifolia when it comes to that essential oil. There's a lot of other kinds of lavender essential oils that are more for the like, yay, I smell pretty, but really aren't good for us. So becoming familiar with that kind of stuff is also very important. So keep those things in mind. And then another one that a lot of people don't think of that I feel is really important to have in a first aid kit and can have so many different benefits is echinacea. Most people out there are like, oh, echinacea, yay, it's the immune herb, right? Which, yeah, it is great for immune health and really stimulating the immune system, regulating the immune system, and all of that jazz. But what it also is a fantastic antimicrobial herb. So you could use echinacea as a tincture and dilute it and put it as a wound wash when somebody gets cuts or scrapes or something like that. Not only is it going to fight off any potential bacteria that might invade the body and get into the skin there and kind of cause a lot of inflammation, it's also a great wound healer. It's also going to ease any potential inflammation that may be happening while still simultaneously supporting that inflammatory process. Because if you don't know, inflammation is usually actually a sign of your body doing its job, your immune system stepping in and saying, oh my gosh, there's an emergency here. Let's get all those immune cells, that immune army on board and fight whatever is happening and protect the body. So inflammation isn't necessarily the enemy, but it is an alarm. It's an alarm clock saying, hey, we need to pay attention here. So I do love to have some echinacea as a tincture inside of my first aid kit. Also nice if you're on longer traveling sessions and somebody does get ill and you can be like, oh my gosh, let me protect myself with some echinacea in this moment if I can. Fantastic one. So use that as if you had a tincture, you could dilute it in water and then just use it as a wash on top of those wounds and things like that. Another one that I love so much is comfrey. So I live in the mountains. I love to play outdoors. We do lots of fun things that are usually all about having lots of adrenaline pumping through the body and also are prone to people getting injured. So happens a lot in the community that I am in. I can't tell you how many times I have helped people with sprains and strains and broken bones with comfrey. Comfrey is amazing and another one of those herbs that I use for so many different reasons, but specific to the herbal first aid kit, one, it's a great wound healer again, but you do want to be careful because it is so great that it can close up those wounds. And if there is bacteria and infection in that area, you can have some big problems. So you might want to use it simultaneously with that plantain to draw out infection or with that echinacea to kill off the bacteria, things like that. So really thinking strategically along those lines. I also love comfrey because it's known as knit bone, because it's really, really wonderful for speeding the healing of broken bones. Again, there is a time when you can use comfrey too early. If those bones have not been set back in their place, we can have problems that can cause the bones to connect again, but not in alignment. And that can cause future pain and chronic pain moving down the road. Comfrey is also amazing for sprains and strains. So I just use a little poultice or some comfrey infused oil. And I love to infuse it with fresh oil. That's a process that's really magical because oil and water don't mix very well. But I teach all about that inside of Medicine Making Mamas. It's pretty amazing. And it's just this really, really potent, deep green oil that is just phenomenal. And I have watched people time and time again coming to me like, oh, Mel, oh no, I sprained my ankle and I'm a waitress and I don't know what to do because my doctor said I can't work for at least 6 weeks. And, they're basically screwed because that's how they make their money. And that's on their feet. And now they can't go to work. So they come to me and I give them some comfrey oil and I usually add in a few other magical herbs, but they use that. And within 2 weeks, they're back to work and they're telling me that their mind is blown. Their doctor's mind is blown. They're like, what did you do? This is amazing. And so get yourself some comfrey, grow it if you can, because I really do love to make it with fresh plant material. So that is the jam. And then we'll talk about one more herb. Of course, there's about 1,010,000,000 more herbs. And I definitely dive deeper in all of them and applications and uses and what to do for cuts and scrapes, what to do for bug bites and bee stings, burns, sprains, strains, what to do with the anxiety and panic attacks, what to do when somebody's got like major stomach issues because they ate something funky or they drank the water from the stream and now they've got Giardia and Cryptosporidium. All that stuff. We talk about it in the Herbal First Aid Skills class. I'll link to it if you want to check it out. No pressure though. But what you should also do is get yourself some yarrow. Yarrow is an absolute superhero. We recently did it as an Herb of the Month study as well, which, gosh, oh golly, I could talk about yarrow forever. But since we're talking first aid today, I will not. We will talk about how it's really phenomenal for stopping bleeding. This herb has kept me and my friends out of the ER so many times. It's unbelievable. Anytime I get to a campsite or a playground or something, I'm always scoping the area to look for yarrow because I know that if somebody does get cut or has some kind of injury, that we can use yarrow to stop that bleeding instantly. Like, it's amazing. It will, maybe not instantly, maybe you're waiting 60 seconds or something, but that's pretty darn instant in an emergency situation, especially when you're far away from common modern medical care, right? It's also an antimicrobial. So while it can stop that bleeding, it will also fight off any potential bacteria trying to invade the body through the skin and through that open wound, which is prime time for bacteria, right? It's pretty amazing. Bacteria are like, oh, look, it's a free open space because our skin actually acts as a protective sheath, basically, for our whole body and everything happening inside of our body. And when we do get that cut, those bacteria are like, hey, yippee, look, it's an open door to a party. Let's go in and invade the space or crash that party. And that's where, various kinds of infection come into play. So yarrow will stop the bleeding. It will fight off that bacteria from getting the infection being even worse. And it is also another phenomenal wound healer. So where I was saying comfrey is a great wound healer, but we need to be careful because comfrey can trap bacteria and infection in because it heals things so quickly. You can use something like yarrow to kill off the bacteria, kill off any viruses, fungi, anything like that. Stop the bleeding and to heal the wounds. Like, it is amazing. And it grows so easily. Like, I planted 2 small plants 2 years ago and now I have so much yarrow. It's unbelievable. I do love the yarrow from the wild though. It's like got this special scent to it that is just heavenly. I love it so much. But use what you can. And it's really nice to grow your own medicine versus having to drive out to the wild to pick it or whatever. get yourself some yarrow. So we have talked a little bit today about herbal safety, making sure your plant ID is spot on, being aware of allergies and dosage and all of those kinds of things. We've talked about some of my favorite herbs to help you in your first aid kit. So plantain, must have. Yarrow, must have. Comfrey, must have. Echinacea, heck yeah. Lavender and a little bottle of lavender essential oil can do so much for you. It's really, really amazing. And if you want to dive deeper on that or grab the recipes that are very, very similar to the very same recipes I used in those herbal first aid goods that I got to sell in REI, you should definitely check out my herbal first aid course. It is fantastic. And I really do dive deep in there. It's a lot of fun. So check those out. They will be linked in the show notes. And for any of you out there that might be listening and you are thinking about becoming a community herbalist, you want to be the person in your community that people are coming to and saying, hey, help me, I'm sick. Hey, help me, I'm injured. Hey, what can I do? But you also really want to feel confident in the things that you are recommending to them. I probably shouldn't even talk about this on the podcast yet because it's really just an idea and a seed planted in my Mel mind, which there's no shortage of ideas here. But you may have heard me talking about my Apothecary Mama herbal mentorship, which I love, 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 love. And I've been building on that for well over 2 years now. And what I have discovered is that it's time for a little shift. I originally created that just to help moms feel confident using herbal remedies in their family, which it definitely does, like no doubt about it. But what I have also uncovered is that I tend to teach in depth and I love to do that. I love it. I really, really do. And that mentorship is now maybe too much for the mom that's just like, hey, I love herbs and I want to try and use them for my family. What do I do when my kid's sick? Awesome. Like, do that for sure. Like, we need that. And so I am going to be modifying Apothecary Mama. I'm not sure how it's going to look yet. It is now June 28th, 2024. So if you're listening to this in the future, you're hearing how things come about in my mind and my ideas and thought processes when I'm creating more herbal programs and places for you guys to learn. But basically, Apothecary Mama is going to get broken down into a family herbalist certification. That's going to be a little more basic, but also very, very usable for somebody just getting into herbalism. And then we're going to take a lot of that content because we do really deep dive workshops every month. And we're going to turn that into a community herbalist certification. So if this is something you're interested in and you want to open up a conversation about it, send me a DM on Instagram and just say community, and I'll know that you want to talk about this community herbalist certification, or you can email me at buddingherbalist@theherbalistpath.com. You can find that on my website at theherbalistpath.com. This is also for those of you that are like, hey, I want to take the family herbalist course. That sounds amazing. I would love to support you and help you along on your journey to using herbal medicine, using it in a safe and effective way, maybe evolving into that healer in your community that people know, love, and trust and can say, yes, I want to learn about herbs from you. I want to be healed by you. Like, it is such a beautiful, beautiful feeling to be that bridge between the plants and the people and help people create that connection. So anyways, if you're curious and you want to open up that conversation, reach out to me. Either email me buddingherbalist@theherbalistpath.com or message me community on Instagram. Just shoot me a DM. Maybe I should have family be one as well. If you're just interested in the family herbalist certification, let me know. I do want to hear from you guys. I want to hear like what it is you want to learn. I want to hear what you're really passionate about and excited about. I know that I can help you get to where you need to be in the world of herbal medicine. And I just want to make sure I do that how you are looking forward to. I mean, of course, I'll have some surprises and tricks and things up my sleeve as we go along the journey. But I love this stuff. I love teaching people about plant medicine. I love seeing the breakthroughs my students have. I love hearing from my students how much their children are really learning these kinds of things. Like I just had a student of mine who's been an apothecary mama and medicine making mamas for about a year and a half now. And she just messaged me the other day that her teenage daughter just went to apply for her first job at the local herb and tea shop. How freaking cool is that? And she's also like, it's amazing because before I like started learning with you, my kids were just like, grab the junk from Walgreens. And now they only want herbal remedies. Even her 19-year-old son, who has since moved out, is reaching out to her, Mom, I need this help. And like, she's making remedies for him. And his friends, his 19-year-old cool, tough dude friends are reaching out to her, asking her for different remedies. That's so cool. And she's also one who has her community asking, but you know, being a mom and loving to teach moms, I love seeing kids really pick up on this. So I'm getting all mushy and rambly. Can you tell I love what I do? Anyways, I also love you. And I thank you so much for sticking around and tuning into this lesson. If you feel that you learned a bunch or something out of this lesson, I would love to hear from you. Please let me know, because right now I'm just talking into a microphone and wondering if you're listening to me. So when you let me know that, it feels really, really good. So thank you so much. Have yourself a happy and safe 4th of July, and be sure to be prepared with all the things we talked about in today's episode. I will be busy celebrating my beautiful daughter's 11th birthday. I've never been a huge fan of 4th of July celebrations. I don't like how people pollute the planet in celebration. And like my favorite thing about the country that I live in is how beautiful the land is. So I don't like it when people just get together and destroy it and act in a drunken stupor. It's not my jam, but celebrating my baby girl being 11 sure as heck is. So thank you again. Here I go. Still mushy, still gushy. You have an epic, safe week, and don't hesitate to reach out to me. Bye-bye. Thank you so much for tuning into another episode of The Herbalist Path. Being on this journey with you is absolutely incredible. If you dig this episode, please leave me a review on your favorite podcast player and share it with your friends so that together we can make herbalism #spread like wildflowers. On another note, I must mention that while I know you're getting some good info here, it's important to remember that this podcast is purely for entertainment and educational purposes and is not intended to be a substitute for medical treatment. While the information in this podcast is absolutely relevant, herbs work differently for each person and each condition. That's why I recommend you work with a qualified practitioner, whether that be another herbalist, a naturopath, or your doctor. So thank you again. I am truly honored that you're tuning into these episodes and on the path with me to make sure that there's an herbalist in every home again. Don't forget to share this episode with your friends so that we can make herbalism #spread like wildflowers. I wanted to take a quick pause to show some love and gratitude to our sponsors of the Herbalist Path podcast, who make this show possible for me and possible for you too. So here it goes. Medicinal mushrooms are all the rage these days, if you didn't know already. And With great reason, because they are powerful medicine that can improve your health and your life in so many different ways when they're well made. Yeah, it's true. There's a lot of stuff on the market that isn't going to be so effective. And that's why you need to find a brand that you can actually trust. For me, that brand is Whole Sun Wellness. And this is the creation of a brilliant woman and fellow mama, Jamie Bonfiglio. She's an international mushroom educator that has been working in the medicinal mushroom industry for years. And this is when she saw firsthand how many other companies take shortcuts when it comes to their products. And Jamie wasn't having it. She set out to build her company the right way. Whole Sun Wellness is here to raise the industry standards so those crap mushrooms on the market aren't getting into your body or your family's body. Whole Sun Wellness is the first company to test and report nutritional facts for all of their extracts. They go beyond industry standards every step of the way, from sourcing to extraction and final testing. And as the owners of the largest medicinal mushroom farm in the United States, Whole Sun Wellness is taking control of their supply chain for the highest quality and absolute full transparency. They're even the first company to include pure mycelium extract in every single product. So when you're thinking of getting medicinal mushrooms for you and your family, Whole Sun Wellness is exactly the ones you want. Also, be sure to check out their new Mycolites. These are the world's first dissolvable electrolyte tablets. They're featuring functional mushroom extracts that'll give you more energy, more stamina, and recovery as well. And who couldn't use all of that? The other thing is, they are these adorable little mushroom-shaped tablets, and they come in like a little Altoids box, but way cooler than Altoids because they're Mycolites. Anyways, head to wholesunwellness.com to grab yourself some Mycolites and all of the other functional medicinal mushrooms that you and your family need. And of course, you can grab that link right here in the show notes now.